Okay, we have a very tight schedule this morning. As a result, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. You need to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Go ahead on your own. Inhale and exhale 3 times. We are letting the mind know that we are ready to give it what it needs today in order for it to give us what we need today. So 1, 2, 3. Deep breaths. Inhale and exhale 3 times. Good morning, Lola. I am the amazing Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout today. The brain is 75% agua, vasa, and water. Therefore, you need to ensure that you are hydrating. If you have not drank water all day, all morning, all evening, depending on where you are, what time you watch this, you need to hydrate. When you say, I'm thirsty, you are already 2% dehydrated. So if your objective is to always stay hydrated. Today we're going to be quick. My objective is to finish between 6 and 6:15. We do have an appointment at 8, and it is a fortnight away. It probably is like 35 minutes away from us. It's on 1. It's in Henderson and on the way other side of town. We're going to almost be at the end of the highway. So my objective is to be, as the pastors used to say when I used to go to Baptist church, I won't be before you long. And then, just kick your shoes off because you're going to be there all Sunday. No. Okay. So how did we get here? I am waiting to see if Kevin, Nola, and Regina are here because the beginning of the live is about them. And this is how we get to shifting your mindset. So today, that's what we will be talking about, the brain regions that are involved in shifting your mindset and what happens to us, why we need to shift the mindset. But they are the reason why we are having this topic for the live today. I think what I will do is start, and then as they appear, then what I will do is go back in the spirit of staying on time. So shifting your mindset means changing your perspectives, your beliefs, or approach to thinking. Let's say that again. Shifting your mindset is about changing your perspective, beliefs, or approach to thinking. It involves a complex interplay of several brain regions that coordinate cognitive flexibility, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. That's amazing. All right, we have 2 types of mindsets, fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. Okay, people have joined, so I would like to know if Nola and Kevin are here. Regina was traveling, and normally if she's here, she will throw up those big hands and say good morning. But are Nola and Kevin on the live before I proceed? Okay. So the brain regions that are involved there are 8. And number 1, obviously, is the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive control, goal setting, decision making, and inhibiting old habits. So again, the prefrontal cortex. Good morning, Regina. And then if Kevin and Nola are here, let me know. All right, Regina, hopefully you don't have to go, but if you do, let me know 5 minutes out because this live is the result of you, Nola, and Kevin. So the next brain region is Nola said hi, and then just waiting on Mr. Hook. Anterior, he's exercising sometimes in the morning, so we'll see. So the next brain region is the ACC, and it is the anterior cingulate cortex. And it monitors conflict between old versus new beliefs and detects when change is needed. That's amazing because it's saying, yeah, this is outdated, this is stale. You might have to want to update this because that's raggedy and you need something new. Next is the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and it helps with cognitive flexibility, trying new perspectives, and shifting strategies. So cognitive flexibility, as we know, is part of the executive function of the brain. And the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex allows you to have new perspectives and shifting strategies. The next region on the list is the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, and it's involved in value-based decision making and adapting to new personal values and goals. I left my corporate job 15 years ago, and I have been shifting my mindset ever since then. It has been an evolutionary process. Next is the amygdala, and we love to hear amygdala. I know we think, yes, what the fuck has the amygdala done now? But in this instance, when you shift your mindset, the amygdala does its job and it processes emotional salience, and it needs to be regulated for mindset shifts that reduce fear or anger. And emotional salience, I keep saying it, so I want to remind you all what it is. It is the degree to which a stimulus, such as an event, object, or idea, is emotionally striking and therefore draws attention and influences our perception or behavior. So because of Regina, Kevin, and Nola, the emotional salience that I had is that I needed to have this shift. It regulated my fear and my anger towards things, and it's time for another shift, hence the topic for today. Next is the insular cortex, and we refer to that as the insula. And so it enhances interoceptive awareness. Knowing how you feel is important for internal change. When you understand how you feel, and I had a feeling moment yesterday, and then I took a nap, then I woke up to an email from Kevin, and so it all went synchronistically how it was supposed to be. Next, we have the posterior cingulate cortex, the PCC, and part of the default mode network, which we all know is time spent with ourselves. When we are by ourselves, we are in our default mode network. And what happens is that it's active during reflection and self-referential thinking. And self-referential thinking is just that it's referring to yourself. You know, you yourself personally, when you say it's just me, myself, and I, that's self-referential thinking. And then finally, the hippocampus. And so the hippocampus accesses and rewrites autobiographical memory to support new perspectives or beliefs. So when you shift, the hippocampus says, all right, I see we changing the narrative. Right, good. Let's do this. Now, the left and right hemisphere, the roles for them in shifting mindset is for the left hemisphere is that it's analytical, logical, language-based, reframing your beliefs. And then the right hemisphere is for emotional insight, creative thinking, and seeing the big picture. So when I left my corporate job, I didn't know what I was going to do. Then I started working with my sister, and I thought I was going to be her COO forever. Then she relapsed, and that shit went left. And coming up on August 13th, it will be 12 years of Dr. Donna doing solo dolo. And so I had to change and reframe what I thought I was going to be. I used to think I was going to be 2 comma and 3 comma Dr. Donna, and here I am now with a brain t-shirt on and a brain background. Gotta love that doggone cognitive flexibility and the path that was actually meant for you to be on. And so those are the regions and the involvement. And if you look down at the bottom of the graphic, you will see that those, good morning, Kelly, that these are the brain regions that are involved in shifting your mindset. I think that's a cool looking graphic, and it allows you to see that it's all everywhere. It's not just in one region, it's in multiple lobes, and it's in multiple regions, and that's what's taking place. And now you can see if you have a fixed mindset, you just look at that damn amygdala, and the amygdala is doing a lot to keep you stuck in that fixed mindset because it's seeking comfort and safety. Now you can see when you are shifting your mindset, part of the reason why it seems to be so challenging and appears to be an uphill battle is because you have 8 different regions that need to coordinate with each other. So if you think about the many synaptic connections that need to take place in order for you to shift your mindset, that's a lot of work. That's not something that you're just going to do overnight. You're just going to be like, yeah, so I'm going to shift my mindset and tomorrow I'm going to be different. No, you're not. Especially if you haven't regulated your emotions, your amygdala is like, yeah, all right, that's what you think. Wait till you wake up tomorrow. We're going to have you scared and worried and ruminating, and you ain't going to change and damn thing because you letting us run the show. So you got to have that prefrontal cortex, that dorsolateral prefrontal cortex involved, or you ain't changing shit. Why this ain't working? Why this ain't working? See, this is why I don't change, because it don't work. It does. You just gonna have to work. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, so here is your training plan to a daily mindset training plan based in neuroscience for you to be able to change. So I have a short plan and then a long plan. So in the morning, you're going to focus on mindful meditation. If you have not downloaded a mindful meditation app, if you haven't found something on YouTube or TikTok, shame on you. Again, you're going to select it. I don't have any affiliation with any apps or anything, and I wouldn't tell you to use something because everybody learns different. Your environment every day is different than mine. And part of the journey of finding it is you will shift your mindset when you start looking at what you want and what you don't want. So it's up to you on how you're going to have your mindful meditation. And when you do that, you are in your default mode network. And as a result, that's your self-reflection time. So you need to do that every day to check in with yourself to keep you balanced. And in that morning mindfulness, 10 to 15 minutes, the brain regions that are activated are the ACC, the insula, the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, and the PCC. So it increases awareness and it reduces default negative patterns. So because you are mindfulness, you are checking in with yourself, you are going to regulate that doggone amygdala and your emotions, and you're going to be able to check in and stay focused. Also, cold shower, we talked about that before, or a novel task. You could be doing something like washing the dishes, cleaning, or something like that. So many times I've needed to clear my head and I start washing the dishes, sweep, mop, or take a shower, and boom, bada bing, idea just comes to me. And the brain region that's going to be activated for that is the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and the prefrontal cortex. And it stimulates flexibility and it builds adaptive responses. Take risk is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And I say take a risk a day because that keeps the fear away. You can't be afraid and taking a risk at the same time. The brain's going to say, are we afraid or are we going for it? Which one are we getting ready to do? And the more risk you take, the less fear you take in. That's why it's important to take small risks. Now, I'm not saying you got to go bungee jumping, but I am saying stop going to your favorite restaurant and ordering the same damn thing. Look at the other side of the menu board or the other side of the menu. You can change your hair, change the route, change your outfit, change what side of the bed you sleep on, change how you approach your day. If you take your shower first thing in the morning, eat. But you can risk it and get the brain and that mindset being flexible. Obviously, be flexible is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. But you are responsible for shifting your day and doing novel tasks in a new way. Mid-morning, you're going to do some gratitude writing. And what that's going to do is activate the brain regions of the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus, and the left hemisphere. And the purpose is to reinforce positive memory recall and emotional reframing. Midday, you're going to do a power reframe session. And so that's going to enact the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the prefrontal cortex in the left hemisphere as well. And you're going to practice replacing limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs. So if you believe that all you can do is have a job, then midday you're going to say, I can do all things, the big and the small things. In fact, here are 10 things that I can do that are independent of having a job. If you think that you can't go live, if you think that you can't become a public speaker, if you think you can't start your own business because nobody in your family is an entrepreneur, you're too old, you never started a business before, this is the point of the day where you're going to reframe that and say, what neuropathic connections do I need to make so I can start this business, so I can leave this corporate job, so I can leave this insignificant other, so I can go and be extraordinary? That is the time that you're going to do that because you can do it. You have 86 billion neurons, okay? So you are a billionaire. You got 86 billion neurons, and each neuron has the ability to make 10,000 synaptic connections. So that means you have the potential to get the 860 trillion synaptic connections. So neurologically, you a bad mofo when you access all that. And the only way to do that is to shift your mindset. You shift your mindset. I used to say, change your mindset, change the game. Change your mindset, change the game. So no, the isms and everything else, the government and all this other, that's some bullshit. That's limiting beliefs and that's a fixed mindset. And you stuck in a rut because you refuse to create new neural pathways. That's why you can't figure shit out, because your working memory is unemployed. So midday, you're going to reframe some shit. You're going to start creating the neurons. When the neurons fire, that's when they wire. And now you have these new synaptic connections. Then in the afternoon, you're going to go for a walk, listen to some audio learning. And you're going to enact the PCC and the right hemisphere and the insula. And movement and reflection enhances neuroplasticity and insight. Movement and reflection. That's why I stretch. That's why I walk. That's why I move, because that is what's going to create neuroplasticity too. So if you just sit there like a bump on a log, nothing is going to connect. Ain't shit going to fire and ain't nothing going to wire. In the evening, you're going to visualize idea outcomes. You'll do this for up to 10 minutes. And this involves the right hemisphere and the hippocampus and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. And what this does is it strengthens the belief in possibilities. And now you rehearse success in your mind. So you have to believe it's possible. One of the 74 principles of real leadership is can makes the impossible possible. Turn that can't into a can and that how into now. And all of this is done up here by creating new neural pathways. So you do not need external anything when everything is up here. And then at night, you're going to sit down and go ahead and write one more time. And you're going to enact the PCC, the insula, and the hippocampus. And you're just cementing the learning that you had for the day. And you're going to be able to track your mindset evolution. Okay, and then weekly enhancers. Social reflection with a coach or a peer. That's me. It's actually an educator. 1 or 2 times a week, and then you can have people around you, personally accountable people around you, not the unaccountables, because they the reason why you got a fixed mindset in the first place. You're not going to run shit by them, because they be like, they're going to tell you 7,000 ways that can't work. So not them. People who are actually have a growth mindset and who are really focused on becoming their best. That's who you talk to. Once or twice a week, you strengthen, by doing this, you strengthen the ACC and the PFC for self-monitoring and honesty. Be honest is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So when you are enacting and interacting with people that are personally accountable, they're going to keep you honest. They'll be like, bullshit, flag on the play. That ain't going to work. What you doing? As my child did to me yesterday. So you're going to be trying a new experience weekly. Weekly, you are going to be trying something that you've never done before every single week. I know now your heart is like, amygdala is like, no, we're not doing that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And what it does is it activates the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and builds psychological flexibility. You have cognitive flexibility located in the executive function of your brain. Okay, working memory, cognitive flexibility, inhibition control are in the executive function. So your brain already has the ability to be flexible and change. Okay, so the fact that you're not doing it means that you have a resource in a region of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, located in the frontal lobe, and you ain't using it. So it's not like, wait a minute, hold up, girl, let me call you back. I got to go get some cognitive flexibility. I'll be back. I'm on my way to Walmart. No. You do not have to purchase it. You don't get it on Amazon. You get it on Meazon. It's up here. It's already there. You just got to go connect to it. So just like you charge your phone, you got to, where's my phone cord? You got to go say, where's my neural pathway to cognitive flexibility? Damn it, what did I'll be back. I got to go get my neuroplasticity. I got to get that pathway to cognitive flexibility. It's just not connected, or it may never have been connected, or you got to rewire it. But it's up to you in order for you to access that cognitive flexibility to be able to try something new once a doggone week. Okay, that's once a week. If you go get your hair and your nails done, your haircut, and your massage, I gotta give me a weekly massage. I gotta give me a weekly massage. I gotta get my car washed. You do everything else once a week, but you ain't gonna try nothing new. Okay, last thing is yoga breath work or body work. So you're gonna do this 2 to 3 times a week. I stretch damn near every day. And you need to do the same thing. You got to check in with your body. Sitting is the new standing. We are a sedentary lifestyle people right now. So you need to get up and undo all of this that you've been doing all day long. You need to go in the opposite direction. And what this does is this strengthens your mind and body awareness in the insula and the PCC. Okay, what questions do you have about what I have been discussing so far, if any? Because I'm going to go over the training plan, and that's what's above my head right now. And then I'm going to say what I need to say. Where's did it not go? Okay. What took place? Got it, clear. Here we go. Oh no, it didn't do it. Okay, cool. All right. So here is the training plan. It's in the left-hand corner, and it is a morning mindfulness meditation. This is what you can do daily so you can increase your awareness and reduce your negative patterns. Then mid-morning, you're going to do that gratitude journaling. I say write in, couldn't change the graphic. Reinforce your positive memory and emotional reframing. And then you're going to have a reframing session. Come back in the evening and visualize your ideal outcomes to strengthen your beliefs and possibilities and rehearse it. And then you're going to do your night journaling. And the reason why you're doing this is because you are shifting your meaning, not Amazon. Mizan. Thank you. That's cool, Regina. Mizan. It's not, it's on Mizan. It's not on Amazon. Yes, ma'am. See, I love it. That's amazing. It's on Mizan, not Amazon. Mizan, not Amazon. Yep, that's right. It isn't. You can't. They used to have that TikTok sign. Where you get that? Amazon? No. All right. So that is the training program. If you want to go ahead and take a screenshot on the device that you are on. And so now I potentially I'm going to try to get through this. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna cry. I ain't even this is bullshit. Okay, so first up on the scene is my amazing offspring. Coming to the ring is Nola Rogers, who checked the dog shit out of me yesterday as we were leaving Whole Foods because I was having a moment. And she basically said, "Stop focusing on dumb shit, Dr. Donna. You came here to do something amazing and you over here worried about regular shit that you already did." And I was like, "Yeah, but," and she checked me and said, "You came here to do this thing. Who," and she literally said this, "who the fuck gonna fix people?" That's what you came here to do. Focus on your research. Stop focusing on this other stuff. She was very adamant. She's a fire sign. So get very, very energetic and high energy. It was a lot of energy. And so I went home and took a nap because that was after our second appointment, but she did give me what for and some more. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to take a nap. And then I woke up to an email from Kevin saying something to him, and he had no idea. He said, "I made an acronym for you." And he said, SHIFT. And the acronym is "Sent Here Intentionally for This." Sent here intentionally for this. Nola has yelled at me and told me, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, you're right, you're right. And then I get this email following up on some of his own work. And he said, "Sent here intentionally for this. For this. For this thing that you're doing." And then Regina, who is a boomer, just patiently keeps dropping where you're the conduit. You're the one they got to collaborate with when you're ready to collaborate, when you're ready. So the three musketeers in the last 48 hours have come together unbeknownst to each other that they were literally helping me do this thing that's hard as hell, that I'm like, shit, this is hard as hell, in three different capacities, to bring it together, to literally say, you was born for this. And so the tears are because for my entire life, people have been telling me to do other shit. Don't do this, do that, do this, go build somebody else's stuff, do this for me. But the three of you independently have literally said, this is what you was born to do. And I know I feel it, but to hear it externally, there's a page in Outwitting the Devil. It's on page 121 of the book. And it's, what's his name? Nola's going to tell me his name. He wrote a letter to his wife, and he literally said, "I need you to tell me that I can do this, even if it ain't true. Right now, I need an external thing to happen to say, keep going, keep going. You need a shift." And those three things that happened today shifted me. Well, yesterday. And I was going to do something else, but I was going to do the next principle of real leadership, which is to treat people with dignity and respect. But that's not, but because of the time. One second, y'all. Let me put on mute. I'm having an allergy day too. So the point that I'm making is I provide coaching is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And I say in the book that when you provide coaching, you get something from it too. So this is a reciprocal situation over here. But literally, my child believes in me like nobody else in my entire life has ever believed in me or supported me. She does it in her own unique ADHD Sagittarian way, but she gets it done. Some days I'm over here like Flight of the Bumblebee. What the hell is she talking about? But she will reel it back in. The Bible says, out of the mouths of babes, it comes. So it really was a moment. And it's interesting to have people believe in what you're doing, because I've never had that before. In what I'm doing, not what I'm doing for somebody else, but this thing that God has told me to do, which is my higher power. You believe in whatever higher power you want, but to say that I was made for this, that this is what you do. Naturally, this is what you do. You came here to be born to connect neuroscience and psychiatry and everybody put it together and then make it palatable, to quote Regina, to make it palatable for the everyday person to understand. Some days I just can't believe little old me was born to do this. That I'm the person that is here with people studying this for hundreds of thousands of years. But I got to shift my mindset to believe it, because one of the 74 principles of real leadership is to believe in yourself. But because of the external anxiety from everybody around me, it's just there and I absorbed it. It hasn't stopped me from doing anything, but it's in the fucking way. So I made a decision. That shit been in a storage bin in my brain that I'm going to ask Pawn Stars to come and take over the storage unit and sell all that shit back to the motherfuckers who gave it to me. And I am closing out that doggone storage unit's contract. I'm not keeping that up here anymore. There is no neural pathway to that bullshit. I'm shifting my mindset. I was sent here intentionally for this. I was sent here to do this, not another person, me. And whether my mama, my stepfather, my sister, any uncle, aunt, cousins, and I ain't got no step siblings, anybody else, exes and everybody else, ex-friends, ex-associates, ex-military people, ex-corporate people, ex-church, ex-Soros and sisters from church, I was born to do this. And if you got a problem with it, oh well, that's on you. I ain't got shit to do with that. But I am here to do this, and I can't be concerned about some shit I already did. I don't need to buy any fucking thing else. Nola checked me and said, so you need another new car? You need to go and get another new car. You need to buy something else new. Haven't you done that already? Haven't you already done luxury shit? I told y'all we can't go. Every time we turn around, here comes some fucking Phantom and Bentley. And haven't you done that already? Haven't you been in rooms with Oscar winning, Grammy winning, award winning, you billionaires? Not how many more times do you need to do that? You did that already. Now come here and do the thing that you've been working on. Why would you go back and do that again? Why? You sent here intentionally for this. And then to Regina's point, she keep telling me to collaborate, and I keep telling her no. I did that already, and this shit didn't work. But I'm not. That's a difference. Collaborating with people who don't know what the fuck they doing ain't the same thing as changing humanity. How else is this going to get out if I don't start talking to psychiatrists and neuroscientists and psychologists? How? They the ones that keep giving out all the wrong fucking information. So fear, like, ooh, I got to go in the room with the PhDs, and they're going to be like, what school did you go to? You got an EDD from Nova Southeastern University? Why would we listen to you? We went to Harvard. We went to Yale. We went to Oxford. The fuck you know? You did what? Eastern Michigan University, Jacksonville State. You from Detroit. What's up with that accent? Because it's an elitist ass class. When you get to fucking the level that they're at, oh, they're talking big shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, where's your lab? At your house? On your phone? What you mean you taking neuroscience with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem? What and who is this? You understand what I'm saying? But David had 5 rocks and fucking slingshots and got rid of Goliath. So I got to go back to grassroots efforts and listen and do what I came here to do. That becomes natural to me, because I'm thinking they've been doing it longer than me. They got the answer, but they don't. I am the conduit. I am the person who can bring this to everyday life because they talk so highfalutin. I sent Kevin a video. He said no. Regina researched it and had to keep watching it again and again and again and again and again and again and got it and sent me some new information too and said, when you're ready, she's very calm because she's an old school, retired school teacher. When you're ready, you're going to have to collaborate. And I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing that shit. Be obedient. I'm not going to be obedient. I'm going to be a recalcitrant right now. I'm going to be somebody that ain't about to do this. I don't want to do this. But 15 years ago, 12 years ago, people told me I need to get in front of the camera. And I said, no. They said, you need to make content. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I'm 15,800 Instagram posts in. I got 11,600 YouTube videos on. I ain't doing social media. Okay. Sounds like I'm doing it immensely. Sounds like I'm doing it immensely. So I had to shift my own mindset. So thank you, Nola Rogers, Kevin, and Regina. And I can't think of people's last names right now. Thank you, Perimenopause. Thank you so much. Y'all have no idea what y'all did by something what appeared to be just, hey, simple communications. A little bit loud from my offspring, but simple communication has caused me to shift my mindset to understand that this is what I came here to do. And I know I say it, but I feel it. I feel it now. And they can't talk me out of it. And that rhetoric and shit that was in my head, absolutely not. It's go big or go home. I'm like, I'm never getting on the podcast again. I'm never going to get on. Yes, I am. How is it going to get to 6.8 billion adults? How? If I don't cross-pollinate. My daughter, we go into Henderson, North Las Vegas, Green Valley, all of the areas. We go in the hood and everywhere else. It's just certain parts we just don't go to because it's just too far to drive. But we are all over this Clark County area helping people assemble shit, take shit apart, decorate their homes and everything else. And then my scaredy cat chicken shit ass, well, no, I'm gonna just stay right here because you don't want to sit on the panel and have somebody question you. You don't want to have that healthy dialogue with these people. That's not what you want to do. You don't actually want to change humanity. You trying to be a big fish in a small pond, or you gonna jump your ass out in the ocean and figure it out. Which one you gonna do, Doc? Huh? Thought you said challenge yourself. I thought you said take a risk. So I had a strong conversation with myself last night and this morning, and I checked myself after seeking wise counsel. But I'm grateful for y'all because you literally told me things and spoke to me and my brain and my spirit to do this thing that I was born to do, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And if it seems small to you, it was so big to me. It was huge. It was the thing that I needed when I needed it. It was exactly what I needed to hear in the last 48 hours. Exactly. So I got to shift my mindset. I got to be 2 levels up. I got to be ahead of y'all so y'all don't catch me. So, yep, I'm about to do this at this grandiose ass Galaxy level. And if I got to sit on somebody's raggedy ass podcast and hear them do their shit, yes, then I will do that. If I have to get on a plane and go travel to some convention somewhere and say this, then I will do that too. I will do that, and I will stop focusing on small things, the little bitty teeny tiny things, and I have had a total mindset shift. So thank you very much to the 3 amigos who literally poured into me in the last 48 hours. I am grateful to all. And to close out today, we have a brain bit. The brain's default mode network is responsible for self-referential thoughts and habitual thinking when shifting from a router mindset. And I like that term. Thank you, ChatGPT. Router mindset. That means that it is rigid and repetitive pathways. It's stuck. If you think about an internet router, it's just in and out, input and output, very repetitive. And it shifts it to a more flexible mindset. And the prefrontal cortex, especially the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, becomes more active, helping you override automatic responses, and it reroutes your thinking patterns. That's why you have to shift your mindset, because otherwise you're going to have a router mindset. It's going to be rigid and repetitive. But when you shift it, when you access that cognitive flexibility, what you're doing, especially in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, is it becomes more active, and you override those automatic responses that come from the basal ganglia, because that's where all the habits are formed. And now you reroute your thinking. And I got to reroute my thinking. I don't know what the fuck it's going to be, but I do know it has to be rerouted. And so those previous neural pathways are now pruned, severed, burned, and gone. And now I have the ability and the bandwidth to create these new neuropathic connections. And I'm going to access my 860 trillion neuropathic synaptic connections, because I have to do that before I get out of or do my damnedest to make as many connections as possible. So yes, shift your mindset. Go galaxpheric. Go big, or sit your ass in your comfort zone. And I know it's go home, but no, sit your ass in your comfort zone. So for today, and again, I know it was quick because we got to get all the way driving a freaking fortnight, but we are helping somebody furnish several parts of their home today. And it is, what did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? My goal was 6:15, so I think I'm about to hit that. Yep. What did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? And remember, if you're typing ... I'm not on YouTube this morning, so I believe the chat is still functioning. And now this is just allergies. Nola said, I learned about shift. Nola said, I learned about myself. I am actually inspirational. Yes, in your very unique way, you are. Still, don't become a motivational speaker. You got to finish the listening challenge first before you start doing that. You're still not ready for the suicide hotline either, but you're getting there. Kevin said, I learned not to allow my working memory to become unemployed. Yes, because there is no severance package for it. You don't get no unemployment check from an unemployed working memory. It just stops working. And then you stop functioning day in and day out. Then you start blaming everybody else. Why don't they? I wish they would. I wish you would just use your damn brain. I wish. No, can't sing that song. Got it. If I had one wish, it would be for you to use your brain every day, as it was designed to be used. And I learned to shift as well. And be open. You never know where your blessings are going to come from, or your answers are going to come from. Regina said, I learned that the three amigos and Dr. Donna are the bomb. Yes, ma'am. That's why you help others, which is another 74 principle of real leadership, because when you help others, you learn too. That's why you do it. It's not quid pro quo. I'm going to do this for you, and this is how this is going to help me. Exactly. That's not how it goes. You get something else. You get what you need instead of what you want. Regina said, I learned the SHIFT acronym from Kevin and we'll continue working on SHIFT. And welcome back to Orlando, Regina. You made it back safely. I think you should be home by now. Or is it tomorrow? It's either today or tomorrow. Myself, Kevin, Learn that I am connected to a crew of bad mofos. Hey, don't let me call the real leaders gang up in here. That's what I was doing before on the live. Don't let me call the real leaders. Activate. That would be funny as all get out. Oh my goodness. All right, Lola, are you there, ma'am, Miss Hyman? It's so strange to call you because as soon as I say that, I think of my aunt. I know y'all not related. FYI, the CNA Jenny asked me about how long my classes is, referring to you, and then she started talking about how it is important for my mother to be connected to move, connected movement to synapses, and wasn't even aware of this. She was listening. Wow. How cool is that? That's awesome. Okay. Lola and Kelly, if you're still there, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And then there we go, Lola. First of all, I want to say thank you. I appreciate your lessons every day, learning how to be flexible with my brain connection. Yeah, Lola, you are leaps and bounds. She went ham on threads the other day. I am like leaps and bounds. Lola, I can only imagine the people around you are like, what in the, they are clutching their pearls. Like, what happened? We thought we knew. Yes, and back in Orlando, back in your bed, back in your house, back in your peace and quiet, and you're okay with it being hurricane season. Like, oh well, let it rain. Whew, I get it. All right. Yeah, so I'm grateful, extremely grateful, and that is why. And Nola always says, I can only offer you so little few things. You already know so much, but when I need it, it shows up. It definitely does. I'm low maintenance. I'm so contained, as most people should be in this world. Too many people leaning on people and asking for too much, and we know we got a PA that's the one that's for a kickstand. So the last thing you need to be is somebody's kickstand. Ain't no way. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're short today. You'll be able to go off and do something sensational, but we have a couch, a TV stand, a coffee table, 2 beds, 2 nightstands, and 8 drawers today. Penguin, I'm going to say you can ask me something. If I were you, I would tread lightly. So if you came here to actually ask a real question, then by all means proceed. But if you came here to do something other than ask a question about yourself and your brain and your personal accountability, then I would opt to not do that because that would not bode well for yourself. So if you have a personal question about yourself, a personal question about your brain, a personal question about personal accountability or the 74 principles of real leadership, by all means ask the question. But if you are sitting around some people or you're here to get your dopamine boost, that's not a question, that's a statement. That's not a question. You said, can I ask you something? And then you proceeded to make a statement. That's a statement. That's not a question. What is your question? Actually, there is a Penguin, and I will be doing a live. I actually just researched it yesterday, and that was going to be today's live until I realized that we had to drive a very long time. So check back later in the week if you cannot attend the lives. I'm live Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be the topic Tuesday or Thursday of next week. And so you can check back and then you will be able to either attend the live or watch it, because it is about worrying about or how to stop thinking about what other people think about you. I will say short term that it is located in the left amygdala and it is ruminating. So, an activity that you can do short term is that when you start to do that, you need to write down what those thoughts are, and then you use facts for those thoughts. So in your default mode network time, which is your personal time with yourself, whatever the thoughts are, you're just ruminating. So that means that your left amygdala is being hijacked. And as a result, you're not going to find a solution because it's in your head. So what happens is it's called a brain dump. So you get go old school with some pencil and paper, pen and paper, and write everything down. What that's going to do is stop you from worrying. So then the cortisol is not going to go to your prefrontal cortex and it's not going to create brain fog. And then from there, you're just going to read it. And then you're going to have facts. So if somebody says you're stupid and you have a doctorate in education, that kind of ain't true. If somebody says you're an idiot and you're a go-to person at your place of employment or you're an employer, that's not going to be true. So it's just in your head. Your amygdala is hijacked. The prefrontal cortex is where the rational thinking and problem solving is. So by writing it down, reading it, and then speaking facts to it, you get it out of your head. That's the short-term solution. But I actually do already have the research done. It's just going to take too long. I couldn't do it today. I'm not quite sure why you decided that it was like racist comments, because I said what I said. How are you going to tell me I'm wrong and I just told you what to do? So you speak facts to the racist comments. You just told me no. I just told you neurologically what to do, and you just told me no. You asked me, I gave you a neurological, factually based answer, and you just responded with a hijacked left amygdala response. You just told me no. You didn't even do it. You didn't even tell me that I'm. You didn't say no. You said nah, like racist comments. I said, do what I said. I said, write down what's in your head and speak facts to it. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. So see, you can do it. You cannot do it. I told you what to do. You came and shifted the energy of the live because this was what you wanted to do this brain dump on you. And I told you neurologically what to do, and you responded with hijacked amygdala. You can type a heart if you want to. So again, for everything that's taking place, and I'm going to close this out properly. Everything that's taking place in your life can change and shift the mindset based upon your cognitive flexibility and everything I said at the beginning of the live, for you to shift your mindset. And when you shift your mindset, a lot of things in your life are going to be different. Fix you first, it fixes a lot. And so I will say this from a racism perspective, and we're not going to get into racism because that's a simple, unaccountable person thing to do and blame. And racism was manufactured, and Regina's reading the caste book by Isabella Wilkerson, because it was created. It was created for one group to be advantaged and another group to be disadvantaged. And your participation in that is how that system continues to function. I, on the other hand, don't choose to participate in that system because they're colors. So, for example, this is a black pen. This is a white card. This is a yellow highlighter. And this is a red pen. So these are all colors. And I don't have anything brown right now, but these are colors. And I haven't done this in a while. So these are colors. So factually speaking, I am not a color. If I am, I'm kind of tan. I'm kind of brown. And so in the racism system, my complexion is what 90%, or I think it's like 80% of the world's complexion is somewhere in here. I got a tan right now. So what does this mean? An inanimate object is attempting to define who I am as a person. See how stupid this looks? This looks real dumb right now. So why would you allow comments or actions to impact what you're doing? If you are not bought into the system cannot. It only gives power if you give power to it. Their colors. Look how dumb this is. This is stupid. Okay? Look, this is very dumb. You see how stupid I look right now? So the fact is, I'm not a color. I'm an ethnicity. I am African American and other ethnicities put together. But the majority of me is from Bantu and Nigerian. But I'm Welsh and Irish and got some Polish in me. Thank you, Levi Thomas. So that's what's taking place. Got some. My grandfather is from Barbados. So there. So I'm an ethnicity. I am from the Africas and I was born in America. So that makes me an African American female at birth and currently female at 52 years old. Okay? So when you speak facts to that, you take away all of the shit that comes with that system. Got it? Got it, right? So you can let this stupid shit right here mess up your whole neuropathic connections and be defined by some dumb shit from some other people who are not using their neural pathways. Or you can speak facts to it and use your 860 trillion synaptic connections to become a bad mofo. The choice is yours. On a daily basis, the choice is yours. I choose neuropability. That's what I choose. I choose real leadership and neuropability because that's going to take you a lot further than deciding on color systems. Now, if you're painting your home and you're decorating or you're getting an outfit, you're getting married, by all means, use a color palette for inanimate objects. That's what colors are for. Clothes, materials, furniture, cars. That's what colors are for. Okay? Complexion, I choose not to participate. So you go ahead, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Three amigos, Lola, and everybody else that participated in today's live. You need to shift your mindset. You need to shift your mindset. You need to shift your mindset. You need to ask yourself, is this an external anxiety from some unaccountable motherfucker that can't really figure out something else better to do? So they're going to reduce themselves to these stupid things, all physical. None of it is not physical. That's why I ignore it, because it's not going to stop anything. I'm brilliant. That's what I'm looking at. I was born to do this. So I'm going to pay attention to what the other real leaders told me, because that's factually based. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing going forward. Okay? All right. So you all go off and have a sensational Sunday. We are going to go off and have a building, helping others, technically competent, thermostatic situation, create some new neurosynaptic connectivity today. Hopefully get a nap in. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power and the universe willing, tomorrow, same time, same place, safe space, if you are personally accountable. If you're not, you get what you get. And a different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a brain-tastic day. Take care.